Chapter 16. Noah? Cam says, sounding much older than his almost 23 years. Seriously? You're back with Noah after what that bastard did to you? I'm not back with him, I say, but already am lying to mylittle brother. Because the truth is that I want to be back with him, or at least, I want to try, or I think I do. Honestly, I'm so damn confused, it's a wonder I can even think straight. Noah's gotten inside me again, and while it's Anna's feeling, it's also a scary one. Cam leans against the doorframe leading to Griffin's kitchen and stares me down. We're just friends, okay? I say, but you want more. Shit. When did my little brother get so perceptive? Maybe, confess, then exhale noisily. Honestly, all I know is it feels right being around him. Sure, until he rips your heart out again. He was young. And Darla was pregnant. And you got screwed. I did, I say, my heart aching with the words and themery. But we're both older now, and we're not moving fast. For that matter, we're barely moving at all. But maybe that's good. I want to be friends. I want to trust him, to know him. I want all that, and yet I crave so much more, and it's becoming hard to stay away. To play by the rules we set. From the look on Cam's face, I think he's going to try tosmic me down again. But Noah walks up to us, and I'm not sure if I'm relieved or fearful of imminent fisticuffs. Hey, he says, with a soft smile aimed right at my heart. Hey, back, I reply, unable to suppress my answering grin, though I know Cam is about to nosedive into a jaunt barrel of worry. I told Griffin I'd find you and introduce you. Noah says, just don't start listening to his podcast at least not until after Red Brick is on the market. It's addictive. You know Griff? Cam asks. Noah nods. I'm friends with Wyatt and Kelsey. I met him in La before we both moved here. If it's any consolation, they all know me pretty well, and none of them think I'm the devil. Ask them if you want. Cam's eyes widen, and my mouth drops open. What are you? I begin, but Noah cuts me off. We never met in person, he says to Cam, so we don't know each other that well, or at all, really. And I get that. You're worried about your sister, but I want you to know that I thought I was doing the right thing all those years ago. I realitted. I know it hurt Kiki though, and I would give anything if I could heal that wound. I can't. All I can do is promise you that I'm not going to hurt her again. He holds his hands out to his sides in a gesture of supplication. That's it, Cameron. That's the best I can do. Booty think Kiki's willing to give me a chance. I hope you do too. I feel a tightness in my chest and realize I've been holding my breath, awed by this unexpected speech, and fearful of Cam's reaction. My brother steps forward, and for the first time, I notice that they're almost the same height, with Noah having only a couple of inches on my brother. If you hurt her, Cam says in a low, menacing voice I don't recognize. I swear I will rearrange your face. I almost laugh at the idea of my skinny little brother beating up a man like Noah, tall and lean, with the surfer's strength and the fierce determination of a man who doesn't step away from a battle. But then my vision clears, and I truly see Cam for what may be the very first time. He's in the doorway, his shoulders wide, his chest filled out, his arms are ripped under the t-shirt huers, and he looks young and strong and fierce. How hadn't it seen this before? My little brother's all grown up, and in the kind of way that makes me certain he could make good on his threat. Fair enough, Noah says, then holds out his hand. Cam hesitates, then takes it, and I fight the urge to squeal with delight. I have no idea what this means for me and Noah, but I know enough to be certain it's on the shiny side of good. I aim a smirk at each of them in turn. If you guys are done measuring your manliness, I'm going to go get a drink. I push past Cam into the kitchen. Play nice, boys, I say, then pour myself a wine and exit out the back door, enjoying the fresh air and diminished testosterone. I've stepped out onto a concrete stoop. There's a path that leads from the side area into the backyard proper, and I start towhead that way. But I'm stopped by the pretty blonde woman I'd noticed when we first arrived. She's scowling at her phone and shoving it deep into her purse. Idiots, she says to me, and they can't hold on to thyroidiacy until Monday and normal office hours. Honestly, You'd think I was working a death penalty case. You're a lawyer? Entertainment, she says. I'm Evie. I represent Griff, and since I was in town, he invited me. Well, my firm represents him, Bender, Twain, and McGuire. I shake my head, clueless. We're mostly in LA, but I met Griffin through Lyle Tarpan, who we also represent. And so I've started bouncing back and forth between LA and Texas. She shakes her head. Sorry, when I drink, I ramble. And I've been drinking since I got there. It's shaping up to be a very long weekend. I laugh, deciding that I like this woman. Do you know Lyle? She asks. Turns out a lot of the guests do. I'm almost surprised he didn't come here for the party. I only know his movies. He's a nice guy, surprisingly down to earth. Some stars aren't, believe me, but we've become friendly, and I genuinely like his girlfriend. In fact, Lyle's the one who set me up with this guy I saw here earlier, Noah Carter. I should probably find him again and say hi. She shrugs. Then again, I got the feeling he does the blind date thing a lot, so he probably doesn't care if I acknowledge him or not. Double quotes. An unpleasant chill creeps up my spine. You went out with Noah? Blind date, she clarifies. Then she tilts her head as she studies my face. Oh, hell, she says. I saw you with him earlier, didn't I? Yup. To be honest, he didn't mention you to me at all. You guys, have you? I have no idea what I want to ask, but fortunately Evie steps in to save me. Oh no, just drinks. Nothing happened. In fact, he's the one who turned me down. Glance over her. This extremely pretty, very well put together, blonde. Honestly, I find that hard to believe. Truly, she says. I was a little ticked off. I don't get snubbed that often, believe her, but I'm still jealous. And for every Evie where nothing happened, how many women were there that he did sleep with? It's a few minutes before I find Noah, and when I do, he's with Wyatt in the living room looking at some portraits of Griffin Kelsey that Wyatt shot for the two of them. There you are, Noah says, his expression brightening as he approach. Can we talk? Neither my voice nor my expression is bright. He glances to Wyatt, who moves a hand in what must be guy code for she. "It's your problem, not mine. What's up?" Noah asks as he leads me back to the kitchen, which is empty at the moment, most of the alcohol having been moved to a table in the yard. I met Evie. She seems nice. The lawyer, he says. She was. His brow furrows. So, I got the impression she was one in a string. He'd been reaching for a plate of cheese and salami, but stops, his hand extended, as he looks at me. Are you standing here right now and telling me that who I date, who I sleep with, is any of your business? His voice is gentle, but the words hit me with the force of a brick. Oh, it's the only word I can manage, and I realize that it's not him the spotlight is on, but me. I draw a breath, gathering my courage. Yes, I say firmly, double quotes double quotes a T first. I see no reaction. Then there's a flicker in his eyes, a spark of pleasure, happiness, maybe heat. I'm not sure, but I do know that my confession has moved him. I didn't sleep with Evie. He says, I see. And before, was there a string? This time when he looks at me, his eyes are hard. Yes, but the last one was a long time before Evie, at least a month, and since Evie, there've been none. Press my lips together. There was me. No, the word is fast and fierce. He moves closer, so he's standing right in front of me, and it's all I can do not to reach out and touch him. You're something different. What? I whisper, but he doesn't answer. Instead, we're interrupted by a girl I don't recognize who stumbles into the kitchen, looks around, and shouts, "Damn, no wine. Come on," Noah says as soon as she's left. He holds out his hand for me. You haven't met Griffin yet, and we need to get going soon. We do? I put my hand in his, shocked that after thunder current of revelations that have passed between us, he don't yank me toward him. He doesn't wrap me in an embrace, but his grip is warm, and it feels safe and comfortable. I squeeze his fingers, acknowledging this connection. There's someplace I want you to see. He continues. And we need to be there by 7. Oh, where? But he just smiles and leads me toward the door. It's dark in the yard, but Griffin has a canopy of white lights and strings, making the area look like a fairyland. We find Withhim on a stone bench, and the first thing I notice is his face. Noah had told me on the short walk that Griff was a survivor of a terrible gasoline fire when he was a kid, and that the right side of his body is seriously scarred. He's wearing a hoodie, but even so, the scars are visible, and me heart aches for the little boy he'd been, and the physical and emotional pain he must have suffered. Then he speaks, and his voice is so beautiful and rich, I almost forget the scars. "You're Kiki," he says, then points at Noah. "I can tell by your accessory." "Good guess," I say with a laugh. "We only came by to say hello and goodbye to the host." Noah says, "I have plans for this woman." "Noah," Griff laughs. "Oh, really? That's good to hear." He looks at me, his voice lowered as if in confidence. "We have a bet going. Considering how early you two are leaving together, I think I may win the pool." I can't tell for sure in the dark, but I think Noah blushes, and that possibility amuses me so much that I completely forget Toba annoyed.as for me. I stay quiet too. I'm afraid of what I might say if I open my mouth. I'd started out so determined to keep my wits and not fall for this man again, and yet I've fallen hard. But I'm still not sure if it's smart to do anything about that. I'm still pondering that question as we return to the car. Noah opens the door for me and waits until I'm settled before hits it. I take a moment alone in the car to sigh. I'd told him years ago that my grandmother's test of a worthy guy was if he'd been doors for a woman. Where do we have to be? I ask again when he slides in. "You'll see." I turn sideways in my seat and scowl at him. "You don't remember me, right? Kiki? We dated in Los Angeles. Almost. Got married even." He pauses before pulling out into the street. I have a vague recollection. Why? Because I'm the girl who really doesn't like surprises. Surely he remembers that much. Surely he'll tell me where we're going. But he doesn't. Instead, all he says is, "You'll like this one." Then he pauses. "At least I think you will, Noah." The smile he flashes is wide and a little smug. "Do you trust me?" Considering everything in our past, I consider saying no, but he can't. Because somewhere between him leaving me for Darla now, things have changed. And yes, I trust him. Not that I say that. Instead, the words that slip from my lips are, "Damn it, Noah." Double quotes. At least he has the grace not to laugh. Our destination isn't far at all. As the crow flies, it's about halfway between his condo and Griffin's house, right? Downtown on 4th Street. It's a little bar I've never heard of called Tipsy, and when we step inside, I realize exactly why he's brought me here. "Oh no," I say. "Oh, yes," he counters, tugging my hand. "Are you singing?" "Trust me, you don't want me to sing." He snags a recently abandoned table by the stage, then signals for the waitress. He orders chardonnay for me, bourbon for him, and then hands the waitress a slip of paper and asks her to put me on the karaoke performer list. "You are so going to owe me," I say, but my heart isn't in it. I'd had a great time performing at the Fix the other night, and even though a karaoke bar isn't exactly the Hollywood Bowl, I can't deny that I'm feeling the music even if I'm cringing at most of the folks who go up to sing. This is wretched, I say a half hour later when a guy who looks like he plays defense for the University of Texas butchers Michael Jackson's Thriller. "I know." Noah grins. "Awesome, isn't it?" I take another sip of my chardonnay and agree that it is. "Okay." The girl in charge of the evening claps as the football player leaves the stage to applause, laughter, and a few cackles. "And now it's time for Kiki." I hurry up front, actually looking forward to it, and hoping I get a song that isn't entirely lame. The music starts before the lyrics post, and my stomach sees a total flip-flop. I stare out at Noah, who's looking smug. I want to leap off the stage and ask him what he thinks he's doing, but the song is too ingrained in me, and I dive into the first verse of Turnstile as if I were on autopilot. This, I know. This, I can do. Soon enough, the audience realizes who I am. Then they're standing and clapping and phones are out snapping picture sand. I'm sure, recording every moment. Celia's probably going to see this on social media before I'm then finished singing. I don't care. I just want to get lost in the words as I belt out chorus. Turnstile, I slide away. Turnstile, you? Oh, leave today. Turnstile, I need you now. Turnstile, I don't know how to love you anymore, and I go around and around and around and around. And now I know just what I single quotes. Ve found. A man who brings me to my knees. Baby, baby, please. I slide back into the chorus, but my eyes never leave Noah's. He's on his feet clapping and laughing and letting out a nobsonly loud wolf whistle when I finally finish the song. Wow. The hostess engulfs me in the kind of hug that really doesn't respect personal space, but I'm too pumped to care, and I hug her right back. Thank you all, I say into the microphone. I haven't done that in a long time. A few customers shout for me to do another song, but I shake me head. Nope, this is karaoke night. It's someone else's turn. We stay for at least 3 more hours, clapping and cheering and rooting all the singers on. Afterwards, they surround me, telling me how much they love Pink Chameleon and asking me to autograph the BaS cardboard coasters. All in all, it's an incredible night, and I tell Noah as much when we finally step out of the bar and onto the sidewalk. I took a chance, he admits. With all your talk about not rebooting Pink Chameleon, I wanted. He trails off, as if not certain what to say. What? I press. I wanted you to remember how much you love it. Tears prick my eyes, and I think that's one of the sweetest things anyone's done for me. You're welcome. We walk for a while longer, until I realize that we're not heading toward his car. Where are we going? Right here, he says, as we reach the corner of Brazos and 6th. Across the street, the Driscoll Hotel stands, proud and lovely. Oh, a shiver runs through me, but it's anticipation, not fear. I move closer and slide my arms around his waist. Noah, wouldn't you rather go to your place? He pulls me close, his strong arms holding me tight against them. Baby, no, outing you in an Uber. What? I push away, confused. I've already called for one. I've had too much to drink to drive you home. I'm just going to leave my car where it is and walk. Don't you? I shake my head confused. I'd been certain he was taking me to a hotel room. I thought he wanted I thought he wanted what I want. Because I do. Right now, I really want to sleep with this man. I can go home with you, I say softly. I'd like to. He strokes my hair, his focus on my face. I'd like nothing more, he says, but the answer is no. I start to protest, but he presses a finger against my lips. I want you, Kiki. Make no mistake about that. I want you so badly, I ache. But I want all of you. And so I made up my mind. I'm not sleeping with you unless there's more than just sex between us. I don't want to be friends with benefits. He continues. So I'm telling you right now, Kiki, I want more. I want it all. And I'm not a man who settles. Not anymore. A white Toyota with an Uber placard pulls up, and no bends to press a kiss to my forehead. Your chariot, he says, while I continue to stand mute, overwhelmed by everything's just said. I'll see you at work tomorrow. Chapter 17. Noah glanced at his watch. 2 minutes past 9, which was exactly 2 minutes later than the last time he'd looked. And Kiki still wasn't there. He'd been disappointed to find her office dark when he'd gone early for coffee and pastries, but he'd assumed she slept in. After all, he'd considered doing that very thing, but failure of seeing her had forced him out of bed and into the kitchen, where 4 ibuprofens and 3 cups of coffee had reduced his hangover to a dull throb. But now, his disappointment had turned to worry. He grabbed his phone and called Maya's extension. Anything? Not in the last 15 minutes, she said, referring to his previous call. But she didn't sound irritated. On the contrary, she sounded concerned, too. Hang on, she continued. We have each other's logon information. I can track her phone. Good. He'd intended to do that himself through a few backdoors he still had access to from his deliverance days. He tapped his fingers while he waited for Maya to report back. There'd been a few moments when he'd worried that he'd pushed Kiki away last night, that by putting her in the Uber and sending her home, he'd made her rethink their connection and where they might be going personally, or worse, that he'd embarrassed or pissed her off, none of which were good scenarios. but they were possibilities that he could handle, that they could handle. And the moment she arrived in the office, he'd intended to push work aside, sit her down, and have a serious conversation. That, however, was no longer the nature of his fear. And as he paced in front of his office window, his mind filled with dark images of twisted metal and broken bones and blood spattered on concrete. Oh, dear God, no. No? He'd never heard such a tentative tone in Maya's voice. Tell me. He stood stiff, steeling himself against bad news. I don't know, she said. It says her phone's turned off. The last recorded location is South Lamar and Olturf. That's the route she likes to take to downtown, he said. Down Lamar toward the river, do you think, Mr. Carter? Karina burst into his office, her face flushed. Miss Porter's brother is online too. Maya, yes, go. Call me back. He pushed the button to switch lines. What happened? Where is she? She's fine, Cam said. Banged up, but fine. I'm with her. She's in the ER at Dell, he said, referring to the still new teaching hospital by the University of Texas campus. I tried to call. Yeah, well, her phone's in pieces. I'm listed as her emergency contact. Do you want me to? I'll be right there. She'll probably be released in a few hours. It's okay. I said. I'd be right there. There was a pause, then Cam said, text me when you get there, and I'll tell you how to find us. Noah scribbled Cam's number, said he'd be there soon, then barked orders at Karina to fill Maya in. Then he sprinted to the elevator and grabbed a cab at the hotel across the street, because no way was he wasting time going back to his condo for his car. Downtown abutted the Capitol grounds, which bordered on the university, so it didn't take long for him to get to the hospital. He followed Cam's directions and found himself at the nurse's station in the emergency room. Kiki Porter, he said, breathless and worried, despite Cam's reassurance that she was fine. Noah. Cam hurried over before the nurse had finished looking up Kiki's bed number. She said to tell you that she's okay, and that you're an idiot for leaving the office when there's so much work to be done. Screw that, Noah said as they walked the length of Kitchenand base. To which I'll reply that I'm sorry if I ripped into you too hard yesterday. As of this moment, you're okay in my book. They paused in front of the curtains surrounding bed number 9. So don't fuck it up. Promise. Cam nodded, then pulled back the curtain, which clanked as it opened, revealing Kiki's bruised face and embarrassed smile. Noah grabbed the steel post that formed part of the curtain's railing. He'd been doing fine, but on seeing her, his knee suddenly turned to jelly, and it took all of his effort to stand up and not look like he was gutted. Because he was. He hadn't realized it, hadn't let himself feel it, but now that he knew she was safe, it all rushed over him. The realization that he'd come close to losing her a second time, and certainty that this time, he wouldn't have survived. The other guy looks worse, she mumbled, breaking Thespel. Her smile was wobbly and her eyes glazed, but she was looking straight at him, as if she understood. He should, bastard. It was his fault, and She stopped, her head tilted as she looked at him. What? She exhaled. Wow, she breathed. You look so good. She held out her hand and he took it. Then she smiled at Cam. He told you, right? Why he's special. Kiki. Noah could barely get her name out past the lump of emotions swelling in his chest. Christ. He needed to get a grip. She needed him to be strong. In control. You did. Cam said, shooting Noah a small, amused smile. She looked at both men. I'm a little loopy. His laugh was a relief. No, really? She turned her head, then blinked, obviously trying to focus in Cam. Now go. Shoo. Time to leave. I have a presentation to my advisor in 2 hours. Cam explained to Noah, but I've already explained that he'll cut me some slack. It's okay. Noah said, I'll take care of her. Cam hesitated, shifting from foot to foot. Your advisor might cut you some slack, but the rest of the department might not. And I've got this. I'm not leaving until he does, and then she's coming home with me. I have a house, she protested, and Noah ignored her. I'll text you the elevator code. Noah told Cam. You can't come see her anytime tonight. Seriously. Go, Kiki said. Don't screw up college because I'm all bandaged up. A concussion, Cam corrected. He turned to face Noah. The doctor said he'd release her so long as someone stayed with her and woke her up throughout the night. Done. He looked over to Kiki, certain she was going to argue, only to find that she'd drifted off to sleep. He moved to her side, then stroked her hair, his heart twisting. He hated feeling this helpless, this worried. He might not be able to fix her injuries, but he decided right then and there that he was going to do everything in his power to make sure that she never left his side again. Chapter 18. Hey, there she is. Noah's soft voice drifts over me as I force me reluctant eyes to open. How do you feel? I take stock of my body and answer honestly. Like Samiona shoved me into an oil barrel and then dropped me from the top off the tower at UT. Other words, mild discomfort. He teases, and I hear their relief in his voice. The worry, however, remains in his eyes. He's sitting on the edge of the bed next to me, and he starts to rise as he speaks. I have your prescription. Let me get you a pill and some water. No, that's okay. I'm tired of being drugged up. The entire day is either missing or a blur, and I use my hand to try to push myself up. But I'm too stiff and sore. No, he says. Don't even think about it. Sit back. Relax. Whatever you need done, I can take care of it. I make a face. I need to go to the bathroom. To his credit, he doesn't even crack a smile. Except that, he shifts, getting his arm around me. Come on, let's get you up. He's sweet and gentle, and though I can walk fine stiff, but fine, he stays with me in case I fall, and then is waiting to walk me back to the bed. I'd inspected myself in the bathroom mirror, and now when I see him, I wince. Pain? Just the mental pain of knowing that you're seeing me looking like this. The left side of my face is covered in such a variety of colors I could open my own sephora. I can't even think about my hair, which is a tangled, unwashed mess. And while my swollen lower lip may be all the rage, I don't think the pouty lip look is supposed to feature a scabbed over laceration that bleeds when I smile. Noah's looking at me like I'm insane, and I lift a shoulder in a shrug, wincing again as I do. You're beautiful, he says, with so much sincerity I almost believe him. Come on. He leads me back to bed, then tucks me in. Do you want soup? No, I'm okay. Thank God you are. He gently brushes my hair back, and Ilian back against the pillows and sigh, moved by his tenderness and his attention. And fair warning, those pills knock you out, and you need more sleep. I'm going to make you take it soon. If I get any more sleep, I'll beat out Rip Van Winkle. What time is it, anyway? After midnight. Surprise rocks me. Seriously? I slept all day and this late at night. He tilts his head, his eyes narrowing. I take it back. No more drugs for you. Why? What did I say? I've been waking you up about every 2 hours. You don't, remember? I think about it, but there's just a big blank. Nothing. His green eyes sparkle with mischief. Such an opportunity and I didn't even know it. I cross my arms over my chest and try to look affronted. If you're thinking you could have had your wicked way with me, then you should know that I prefer to be awake for sexy hinks. I'm teasing, but as soon as I say the words, I blush. You remember all too well that I came onto him just the other night. And I remember that he turned me down in the absolute sweetest of ways. I'll keep that in mind, he says, with so much intensity that I blush all over again. By the way, Ars called. He said to tell you he'll call again tomorrow. Did he need to talk to me about his show? He's got thestaging and song ordered down pat, but for the last 2 weeks, he's been running tweaks by me, just checking in to see how you're feeling. Oh, I'll wait a second while my fuzzy brain processes that. Did Kim call him? I did. I got his number from Maya. I thought he'd want Takno. I can't believe you thought of that. Thank you. I blink, and a tear trails down my cheek. I wipe it away, embarrassed. Do you have any idea how much I love you right now? His eyes widen, and I realize what I've just said. I mean, you've been so sweet, taking care of me, and all. Trying to cover, even though the truth is that I'm falling for him all over again. But I'm not ready to say it out loud, because I'm not ready to risk my heart. All I've been doing is sleeping. You're the one shouldering everything. Hell, I don't even remember the accident. He shudders, then reaches for his phone on the bedside table. A witness sent the responding officer pictures of the scene. Have forwarded it to you for insurance. His voice is flat, so tightly controlled it's almost emotionless. Cam brought your laptop over a few hours ago, and he forwarded the pictures to my phone. Bad? I honestly don't remember, but I can tell from his posture and his voice that it's not just bad, but very bad. He doesn't answer. Instead, he passes me his phone. There are 5 pictures, each worse than the one before. The front of me Honda is completely crumpled, and the driver's side door is practically turned inside out. I feel sick, because looking at these pictures, I have no idea how it got out of that car alive. You slammed into the side window as it shattered, they think. And thank God you had airbags. He ran the light, I say, flinching as the memory breaks over me. I was in the intersection, and I trail off, shuddering, then gasp with surprise when he pushes himself violently off bed and slams his fist into the half wall that separates this area from the rest of the studio. Noah, I'm sorry, he says, his back to me, his hands now clench dinto fists at his sides. I'm sorry, he repeats, and I watch as his posture straightens and he turns to face me. I see the struggle play out over his features, his green eyes haunted. What are you sorry for? For this, he indicates himself. For losing my shit like that, but Kiki. He trails off, then sits at the foot of the bed and scrubs his hands over his face. He looks tortured and I hug myself, because I know that I'm the reason. I'm fine, I say gently. It was a horrible wreck, but I'm fine. I could have lost you. His voice breaks, and the pain I hear humbles me. You didn't. I take his hand and hold it tight. I'm right. Here, his eyes meet mine, and in that moment I regret stumbling backward from my declaration of love. Because it's love that I see in his eyes right now. This is twice now that you've proved to be a miracle. Hugh whispers, lifting my hand and gently kissing it. What do you mean? I shift against the pillows, wincing a little. He frowns. I'm getting your pill now, whether you like it or not. I nod in acquiescence, and he heads into the kitchen. Since it's a studio, it's easy enough to hear him. I mean that I lost you in Los Angeles and found you here. Miracle 1. And you walked away from that accident with no broken bones or serious injuries. Miracle 2. Lost me? I don't mean to sound snippy, but I can't help it. He returns with my pills and my drink, and I swallow them reluctantly. No, you're right. He says, I didn't lose you. I tossed you away. God, I was so fucking lost back then. He draws a breath. I've been drowning in guilt for almost 10 years now. Guilt that I hurt you, yes. But more than that, guilt that I married Darla. That I stayed with her, because of me? Because she's dead. He snaps, then curses. He draws a breath, and when he speaks again, the words come more slowly, almost eerily slow. Because if I'd followed my heart, you then she and Diana would still be alive. Double quotes. It takes me a moment to follow that chain of reasoning. But when I do, I see where it leads. To Mexico, to Anony mouse kidnappers, and to a crime that never would have happened. Noah not taken his family on that trip. That's not your fault. I know that. As far as facts and rational thought go, I'm on 100% with you. But in here, he presses a hand over his heart. In here, I killed them myself. Noah, no. I don't know what to say. How to make him not feel what he feels. You can't keep punishing yourself. No, I'm doing a remarkable job. Or I was. Then I came here, and I started to heal. I'm not sure if it was the passage of time, or closure with Darla's official death declaration, or getting out of law. Whatever it was, the city was working its magic. I was healing. I'm glad. I say truthfully. But why? I trail off. Why, what? I hesitate. Not sure if my question is one to which I truly want an answer, but this may be my only chance to ask him. And even if the answer hurts, I want to know. Why didn't you come to me after the kidnapping? Was I already so far out off your heart? His eyes go wide. Have you been listening to some other conversion? You never left my heart. Then, why? How could I do that to you? Hi, I love you. I left you, but no, I'm back because of a horrible tragedy. We could have worked through it. Or maybe we couldn't have. But didn't we deserve a chance? He drags his hand through his hair. I don't know. I can look back and see so many possible paths now. But then, back Thene only saw my guilt. And I loved you too damn much to foist that on you. The man you'd fallen in love with was happy, ambitious. But the guy who returned? Well, he was broken. He meets my eyes. In a lot of ways he still is. Do you think that scares me? I don't know. Maybe it should. But I hope it doesn't. Because everything changed for me the day I walked away from a blind date and into the fix. Because there you were, singing a song about lost love. I blink as tears prick my eye. He strokes my right, unbruised cheek. The gentle touch as potent as a kiss. Like I said, a miracle. I reach up and press my hand lightly over his, holding his hand against my face. I want so much right now, and yet, I didn't even know how to put my feelings into words. Especially know that the drugs are kicking in and the room is starting to tilt as my eyelids get heavier and heavier. Just go to sleep, he says, stroking my hair and guiding me down so that my head is on the pillow. I'll be right here. I know you will. He presses a kiss to my forehead, and I force my eyes to flutter open. No, can I go with you? To LA? You want to meet Ryan? About the security system testimonials? That's not what I mean, and for a second, his words make no sense. Then I remember Red Brick and the job and all the rest of it. I just meant for the rap party. I say sleepily. I'd Lakato go. As your date, I mean. If that's okay. I force my eyes back open so I can see him, and I'm rewarded by a joyous smile. Baby, that sounds perfect to me. Chapter 19. I can't believe we're on a studio backlot. Look, I say, pointing at the fake facade of a two-story house. I know I've seen that house in some television show. No, I correct. A movie. Definitely a movie. I'm not a celebrity hound, but I can't deny that being on the backlit with the likes of Hollywood A-listers like Lyle Tarpon and Francesca Moratti is pretty damn amazing. And even though I'm trying not to be a drooling fangirl, I think I'm losing the battle. You're cute when you're odd, Noah says. To which I stick out my tongue, in the most polite way of course. But seriously, I say, hooking my arm through his as I gaze over the crowd and the set pieces for Mysterious, the blockbuster action movie that will be released next year. This is pretty much the best date ever. Better than miniature golf. I lift myself up on my tiptoes and press a quick kiss to his cheek. Nothing's better than miniature golf. He laughs, then raises his hand to wave at someone across the crowd. And there really is a crowd. In addition to everyone who worked on the film, the cast and crew invited their own friends and family. And on top of that, Lyle invited 50 kids enrolled in various programs offered by the Stark Children's Foundation, an organization that assists abused, traumatized, and disenfranchised children through sports and play therapy. Though lately its mission has expanded to include mentoring, all of which I know because Lyle and Damien explained it when we first arrived, after being shuttled from the airport to the studio in a private car from Stark's fleet. Another perk that I could get used to. Lyle is active in the organization and acts as a youth advocate, which is more than just a mentor. Instead, youth advocates are celebrities who publicly share their own past trauma in order to help the kids in the program realize that they're not alone. You should consider doing it, Lyle tells Noah when he and his girlfriend Sugar come over to greet us. There's power in knowing the shit from your past. And a lot of these kids have lost family members through violence. You've got a lot to offer them. We'll see, Noah says, as Sugar hip bumps Lyle even as she shoots me an amused glance. Her eyes are brown, a shade similar to mine, but no freckles dot her nose, and her hair is thickened of blonde that reminds me of beaches and summer. I remember that there was some sort of media brew that involved the two of them a few months ago, but I don't recall any of the details. Other than that I thought it was unfair Thatched had her privacy ripped away. It wasn't as if she jumped into the spotlight on purpose, like Celia and I were hoping to do with Pink Chameleon, but I suppose that's the price Sugar paid dating a guy whose face often peers out at the world from magazines and supermarket checkout lines. From the expression on her face when she looks at him, I'm certain she thinks it was worth thepris. This is supposed to be a party, not a recruitment event. Sugar continues. So behave. Only if I get to misbehave later. Lyle says with a wink. I think that can be arranged. Lyle catches Noah's eye and grins. Then he turns his attention to me. Come on, I'll introduce you to Francesca. Moratti, if Lyle's a star, Francesca Moratti is a supernova. Really? I told her you were coming. She's a fan. He glances around. Where did Celia go? Noah had asked Lyle to invite her, and she'd completely squealed over him when we'd first arrived, then almost lost her shit when he'd autographed her t-shirt. Now, I look around and find her talking to a stunning brunette with a microphone. She sees me and waves, her shoulder-length pink curls bouncing. Who's she talking to? I ask Lyle, but it's Noah Wonsworth. That's Jamie Archer. Well, Jamie Hunter now. You know her? Considering he just told me she was married, the tinge of jealousy is ridiculous. She's Nicky Stark's best friend, and she recently married Ryan Hunter, the Stark security chief that you want to talk to about potato-sting? Right, Noah said. He's around here somewhere. We'll find him later, he adds as Celia rushes up and grabs my arm. That's Jamie Archer, she says. She does entertainment reporting, and I told her we're getting Pink Chameleon back together. I think she might do a story on us. That's fabulous. I don't tell her that since Jamie is friends with the Starks, it's a solid bet Noah can pull some strings to make that happen for sure. Celia's too proud of herself for having snagged such a potential PR coup. Right now, Lyle wants us to meet Francesca Murat as I expect. Her jaw drops. No way, she's a fan. Lyle says, then waves. And here she comes. He indicates the famous brunette who's now walking next to Agate, a man with chestnut hair, broad shoulders, a wide mouth, and hard, assessing eyes. He looks like a man used to giving orders. More important, he looks like a man who expects them to be followed. Holy Fujiji, Celia says, correcting herself as one of Thesk's kids scurries past us. It was sweet of you to let the kids be extras, I say to Lyle as Celia gapes at Francesca and her companion. Noah and I had come straight from the airport, and while the cast and crew shot the last scene with the kids as extras, Lyle had one of the makeup artists do my face, a favor for which I will be forever grateful. I'd been excited about the party, but not about my enduring bruises, and she'd managed to cover everyone off them. That's Holt. Celia whispers, holy crap. We're going to meet Francesca Moratti and Matthew Holt at the same time. I think I'm going to throw up. You are not, I order, then smile as they approach, even though my stomach's turning flip-flops too. Hi, I'm Kiki, and this is Celia. Lyle says you're a fan of our music. I say to Francesca, which is so amazing because we're both huge fans of yours. I mean, your films are so wow. I stop rambling when Celia kicks me, after which I can't decide if I'd rather die of embarrassment or kick her back. It's great to meet both of you, she says, taking it all in her stride. Noah's beside me now, and she turns her attention to him. And great to see you again. Celia and I exchange looks, and I'm sure I look just as awake as she does. Oh, I finally say, which was not my finest conversational moment, but it's better than Celia's wide-eyed silence. These two are part of the group you wanted to tell me about? Holt asks Francesca. It's a simple question, but there's an edge to it that makes me believe the stories about Holt. Theman's got drive and talent, and a boatload of money, but he's damaged goods. Oh, yes. I think you'll be impressed. I already am, Holt says. Which one of you is Celia? Beside me, Celia squeaks, but manages to cover by pretending to cough. That's me. You're the one who sent me the track. Yeah. He glances at Francesca. You're right. I'm impressed. He shifts his focus and nods at both Celia and me. I don't know how you got my personal email address, but send more. Andy'll be in touch. He turns and walks away, and for a moment, it's all I can do breathe. Then Celia does a fist pump before scooping main toe a hug. I hug her back, and we dance around like idiots. But second she releases me, I launch myself into Noah's arms. He twirls me around, then kisses me hard and fast and intoxicating. But not enough. Not nearly enough. Noah, I say, my voice cracking on his name. I love Celia. I love that we have this chance. But right now, it's Noah I want to celebrate with. He's looking at me like he wants to devour me, and I think that's the best idea ever. We're still working together, he murmurs, his voice pitched only for me. I draw in a breath, because that's a line I didn't want to cross. But with Noah, the lines are already blurred. We never spoke off it, but it happened. We're together, we're us, and right now, all I want is him. I don't care. I whisper. I see the heat in his eyes, the need, and I know that there is no way in hell we're staying through the end of this party. Celia knows it too, and she steps forward with one hand on her hip, tilts her head back, and looks Noah in the eye. I've always liked you, she says. Back then, before all the shit went down, thought you were good for her, and even Thuy wanted to fucking kill you when you hurt my girl. I kinda got why you did it. Doesn't make you not an asshole, but I kinda understood. But I'm telling you right now that if you hurt her again, I'm going to rip your nuts off. She smiles prettily. I just want to be clear. I nuts and I thank you for the warning. His gaze shifts tone. I promise, it won't be necessary. Lee, I say, resisting the urge to roll my eyes at my friend. Tomorrow, she says, lunch, your hotel, both of you. We have catching up and planning to do. Cause we're gonna be so famous. Matthew fucking Holt, she says. I can't even. Since I can't either, we grab each other and hug again. And when she releases me, she whispers, I wasn't sure about him being back, but I think it's good. I know it is, I say, then give her another squeeze before I pull away. Noah takes my hand, and we start toward the exit. We don't, however, make it. We're stopped by Lyle's voice, over the loudspeaker, and when we look for the source, we see that he's standing on a makeshift stage near the craft service vestibule. Most of the guests surround him, including the Seif kids. I have a couple of very special announcements, he says, and Noah catches my eye, his look a question. I want to leave, but I don't want to be rude, and so I shrug, disappointed, and hold on to his hand as we listen to Lyle give a quick speech about SCF, the kids, and the youth advocate program. He's right, I say. You'd be a benefit to the program. It's on my radar, Noah says, and I know better than Topish. Instead, we listen to the rest of Lyle's speech. When he's done, he thanks everyone for coming, then asks for a few more minutes of our attention. We have something special to announce, Lyle says, holding his hand out to Sugar, who joins him on the stage. Last night, I asked the love of my life, Sugar Lane, to marry me, and I'm thrilled to announce that she said yes. The audience erupts, and when Lyle pulls Sugar close and kisses her very thoroughly, a few catcalls and wolf whistles are added to the mix. When the crowd dies down and Lyle and Sugar come off the stage to mingle, we go over to congratulate them and say goodbye. You inspired us to go celebrate, Noah says, looking at me with such obvious heat and purpose, I can feel me blush rise. It was great meeting you, I tell Sugar as I hug her and Lyle goodbye in turn. And congrats again. Once again, we head for the exit gate, and once again, we're stopped. This time by Damien, who's accompanied by his wife, Nikki, a former Texas beauty queen, who I recognize from years of seeing the two of them in magazines and on the internet. Heading out, Damien asks after introductions are made all around. We have some plans this evening, Noah says, and I try to keep my expression bland, so as to not telegraph exactly what kind of plans he's talking about. I won't take up much of your time, but in case you're planning on working tonight, his expression suggests they knows very well that we won't be. I wanted to tell you to hold off. I've been talking with the CEO of the Israeli company, and for a variety of reasons, we're considering a coventure. Oh, Noah catches my eye and frowns. What does that mean for us? It means we're putting the marketing on hold. He turns tone. We'll pay out the full contract with Crown Consulting, of course, and we'll bring Crown back on board when the new deal is ironed out, if your schedule permits. Wow, I say. Thank you, not only for the promise of future work, but because a lot of companies would have haggled over whether full payment for this contract was still due, and under the situation he describes, it's a close question. I appreciate Stark not fighting that battle, especially since the income is so important to me. Is this because of the possible leaks? Noah asks. Because I've been meaning to mention something. Damien frowns. Not directly, but what's going on? Noah tells him about the green pickup truck that he keeps seeing near his condo and office. It's probably nothing to do with red brick, but it's bothering me, so I thought I'd mention it. Doubtful, it's relevant. Damien says, but I'll have Simeon check it out. Noah nods, and Nikki steps closer to me. I wanted to say I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to talk more, but I'm sure we'll see each other again. Enjoy your evening, Damien says as he puts his arm around Nikki and pulls her close. The intimacy between them is so palpable it makes my heart ache, and without thinking, I reach out and take Noah's hand. That's what I want. I think. That's how I feel. Tilt my head to see him looking at me. His face a mirror of me emotions. And that's the moment it happens. That's the moment that I know will be okay. It takes every ounce of self-control have not to jump Noah in the elevator. I want him. I want to feel his body pressed against mine. I want to feel his mouth on me. I want his cock incideme. I want to close my eyes and give myself over to his pleasure. In short, I want to be his. I'm a bubbling mess of need by the time we finally stumble out of the elevator car and down the hall toward his room. He fumbles in his pocket, then presses the key against the magnetic pad. Nothing happens. We look at each other, and when he mutters, "Come on, you fucker," as he tries again, I know for certain that he's as desperate as I am to get inside. This time, thankfully, the key works, and he shoves the door open, then takes my hand and pulls me into the room with him. I was starting to begin, but I don't finish the thought, because Noah has me pressed up against the wall, his mouth silencing me in a kiss, his hands moving over my hair, my fists, my breasts. Finally, he says, when he comes up for air, "Do you know how long I waited to touch you like this?" I laugh, delighted by the fact that he's just as crazed as I am. I'd say exactly as long as I've waited, and please, Noah, don't make me wait any longer. Hell, no, he says. I'm wearing a thin cotton button-down paired with a knit skirt, and even as he speaks, his hands find the collar. He pulls hard in opposite directions, sending buttons flying as the shirt tears open, revealing my pale pink bra. I gasp, then laugh. "Don't say a word," he orders. "I don't care if you liked it. I'll buy you a dozen more. I have to have you. I have to taste you." I did like it, I say, but I like what you just did better. His eyes meet mine, and the slow curve of his smile sends liquid heat coursing through me. I press my legs together. I'm so wet, I can feel it on my thighs, and I know the minuscule bit of material that forms the crotch of my thong panties is arithroly soaked. S if he can read my thoughts. He tugs the skirt down. The elastic waistband stretches easily, and it slides over my hips, revealing my panties, or more accurately, revealing me. Because the panties aren't much more than damp material, he digs them down and tosses them to the side, then orders me to take off my bra. I do, but when I start to drop it on the ground, he takes it from, then starts to wrap it around my wrists. "What are you doing?" What I wanted to do in my condo, but what we weren't ready for. Oh, I licked my lips, thinking back to that night and talk off trust and commitment. My heart swells with hope. "We're ready now?" His green eyes meet mine, and I think I can see all the way to his soul. "Oh, yes." He leads me to the bed, then looks at me with a frown. "Damn hotels. There's no place to secure it." He's right. The headboard is padded and apparently screwed to the wall. With a rakish grin, he trails a fingertip down my naked body, from my collarbone to my clit. I gasp, my breath shuddering, my legs wobbling. "Can I trust you to be good?" I nod. But honestly, right then, I'd say just about anything. Then I frown, because I realize I'm not sure what good means. "Not in this context." He chuckles, obviously understanding my confusion. "I wanted to tie you down, but I can't. So I need you to stretch out, hands above your head. I want you to mimic being bound." He nods toward the bed, and I climb on, then do as he says. Beautiful. He bends over and brushes a light kiss over my lips. It's important because I want to look at you and know that you're mine. I want you vulnerable, open to me. I want the trust, Kiki. His fingertips dance over my skin as he speaks, as if his words are only the melody, and he's using the connection built in my body and his for the harmony. I want to look at you and know that I'm the only man with the privilege of seeing you naked and vulnerable. The only man who can touch you. And I want you to give yourself to me, knowing that I will never want another woman. I want your surrender, baby. Basically, I want all of you. He is still clothed, and the brush of his jeans against my bare hips as he straddles me is wildly erotic. Tell me, baby, he says as he bends forward, running his hands up my body and cupping my breasts. Do you want that too? Yes. Oh, God, yes. Do you want me now? You know I do. Are you wet for me? I spread my legs, the cooler magnificent against my heated core. Find out. He chuckles. I think I will. And here's the other thing, baby, he says, as he presses his lips to my stomach. He tilts his head up just enough to look at me. The most important thing, I want to take us both as high as we can go. And if we crash back down to earth, I want to know that we're here to catch each other. Noah. His name is like breath on my lips. His word shave started me melting, and now his kisses down to my core about to finish me off. He brings his hands down, then eases 2 fingers inside me as his tongue strokes my clit. I buck, gasping with pleasure. Noah, oh, yes. Do you like that? Can't you tell? I bring my hands down, wanting my fingers in his hair. No, he said. No touching. This is all on me. There's a smithing I want to give you. He knows exactly how to tease me, where to suck, where to thrust, where to lave me until I'm on the edge, and then pull back to leave me trembling and needy. He plays me like a fine instrument, and only when my body is perfectly tuned and ready does he finally push me over the edge so that I break apart, crying his name as the world turns inside out and colored sparks fill my vision. He slides up beside me, holding me as the last tremors spread through my body. Then he releases my wrists and I roll over to face him with a satisfied smile. Was that what you wanted to give me? An incredible orgasm? Not exactly. I don't understand what he means, and I'm even more confused when he gets off the bed and goes to the hotel dresser, then comes back with something hidden in his fist. I'm not giving this to you now, he says. I don't want Torish. But I want to give you the promise of it now. I frown, still confused. The promise of what? The world, he says, and opens his hand. Our world. There on his palm is the ring he gave me a decade ago in Los Angeles. The engagement ring I threw at him in anger when he left me for Darla. My hand fell eyes to my mouth, and when I look at him, it's through eyes filled with tears. I don't understand. You're not giving this to me? Not yet. This isn't a proposal. His mouth curves up. But I wanted you to know that a proposal and the ring is coming. Until then, I hope you keep it in your heart. And here, heads, then takes my left hand and kisses the place where their ring will be. I swallow through a throat clogged with tears. I think that's most romantic thing anyone has ever done. I lean forward, then kiss him tenderly. Will you do something for me? Anything. Make love to me, Noah. Slowly, and very, very thoroughly. Sweetheart. It will be my pleasure.